If you're on the fence as to whether or not you should get tutoring, that's what this video will cover today. I know that tutoring isn't necessarily accessible for everyone, but if you have the means to get tutoring, it can be a truly life-changing experience, as it was for me. Hey, I'm Lisa. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of Lisa's Study Guides, and we offer private tutoring and study guide publications for high school students. Now, because I own a private tutoring business, I'm gonna be slightly biased in terms of some of the reasonings as to why you should get private tutoring. But you know, I started a private tutoring business because I had tutoring from basically when I was in prep all the way through to year 12. And it had such a large impact in my life that I wanted to give back and to create a space for more students to benefit from tutoring. I've also had all sorts of different tutoring experiences with different tutors, from the great, the aggressively average, and the outright terrible tutors as well. And I've actually created a video on this previously about my dodgy tutor, which you can go check out. So yeah, just know that I come to you just sharing with you my experiences and thoughts. So let's talk about some of the reasons why you might potentially want to get tutoring. The first one is that you might be struggling in a subject. When it comes to schools, it's like a manufacturing classroom. You know, you've got 30 people, and all these 30 people aren't necessarily at the same skill set. And so you've got the people who are doing quite well in the subject, the people who are lagging behind, and the people who are in the middle. It's really hard for the teacher to cater to every single person in this 30-person classroom. So what teachers often do is they try to support the people kind of in the middle to the bottom end, or where majority of people sit in terms of skill set. Then so you've got kind of like the outliers on either side who tend to not feel as supported. This might resonate with you. You might be somebody who's really struggling in a subject and you feel like you're not getting the right type of support, or potentially you could be on the other end of the spectrum where you're already doing very well, but you're looking for that more personalized advice so that you can do even better. But let's talk about you, if you're kind of in the high achieving side, in my next point. So if you are somebody who's struggling in a subject, I just want you to know that, you know, it's not your fault. Often it's the compounding of multiple years where potentially you haven't been supported, or you haven't had the right type of teacher who does offer that extra type of support outside of class times. But, you know, if you're already thinking that you'd want tutoring, it shows that you have some sort of motivation and desire to want to do well. And so all you need is really the right type of support system to help you get there. You know, that's the hard thing about schools. Like, if you feel like you started to fall behind in, let's say, year 9, and now you're at year 11, that's 2 years of falling behind. That's sort of just compounded over time. So you feel like you need to do more of that extra work to get to where other people in your classroom are. And that's okay. And that's what a tutor is there for you to do, to give you that personalized help so that you can make those incremental steps to get to where everyone else is, essentially. Often for people who struggle, it's not like you haven't tried to do better. I'm sure that you've tried to, you know, collect as many resources as you can, tried to do it yourself, tried to contact your teacher, but possibly they're not available for you all the time to support you. And so it can feel quite crushing and demotivating when you're trying to do this yourself, but you're not sure how to get there. But that's where a tutor comes in. They're able to see your weaknesses and help you work through those and troubleshoot those with you. The second point is more for the high achievers. So, I mean, this could be you as well. You could be finding one subject extremely hard, but be acing it in another subject. You know, I experienced this as well. Like, I was really bad in one subject and I was a lot more confident in another subject. And so the motivations for the high achievers can be very similar to the motivations for people who are struggling. You know, you're motivated to want to do better. You're motivated to want to reach your potential. And you might feel that, unfortunately, your teacher isn't able to support you as much as you'd want them to get to that next level. But the other thing to remember as well is that when it comes to a tutor, it's another person's mind. You get access to somebody else who might think in a different way, somebody else who will teach you things potentially in a different way from how your teacher teaches it. And so you could understand things on a different level or an alternative level, which I think all assists in your learning. You know, sometimes we just need that one person to explain a concept in one certain way that just clicks with you. And that's the benefit of having a tutor. I think this is especially helpful for people who are high achievers, because you probably are doing already well from what your teachers taught you, but you kind of want extra insights or new strategies in order for you to keep elevating your level. The third reason as to why you might want to get tutoring is just for accountability. Sometimes it's nice to have that one person that you see every single week and they keep track of how you're going and how you're progressing. You know, that sort of insight and that dedication to you isn't necessarily something that your teachers or your parents or your friends are going to be able to offer you. And the fact that you have 1 hour a week of tutoring, let's say, means that you know you've got like set homework that you need to do before the next session. That can keep you on the train of regular study where you're regularly doing work as opposed to just cramming and smashing it out, you know, the few weeks before an assessment or exam. So those are some of the reasons why you might be looking for tutoring. Let me know also, like, what are the reasons you are looking for tutoring? Comment down in the section below. So I'd be really interested to hear kind of where you're coming from, and maybe I'll create more videos just based on some of the feedback you guys leave me. But now I want to talk about what you should be looking for when you do hire a tutor. You know, there's all different types of tutoring services out there. There's your one-on-one tutoring where you're getting that direct help with the tutor. You can have small group tutoring where there may be like another friend that joins you, or maybe a group of 4 friends. Then you've got much bigger tutoring. So it's kind of like classroom tutoring in a way. You might have up to like 30 people in a classroom, and you might have one tutor that teaches you stuff. So it's more just like extra learning outside of school rather than that tailored personalized learning. So, you know, different types of tutoring work for different people. You can definitely try all of them and see which one works for you. I know I've done them all, but I found most value in one-on-one tutoring, which makes sense because that person is there solely for you for that entire hour. Of course though, it does come with a higher price bracket for most if we're to generalize. Whereas when it comes to like smaller groups or even bigger groups, there's not as much of that personalized learning and dedication to you. So I think it's just juggling and balancing what do you think is right. The second thing to think about is what are your goals? I think it's very important that you go into tutoring understanding what you want out of it, because if you're not clear about it, then there's no way your tutor can really know how they can help you, you know? So for example, when I was going into year 11 and year 12, I knew that while I was doing well in English, I knew that I wanted to do even better, especially because it's one of your top 4 subjects for your ATAR. Like if you do badly in it, then that severely affects your ATAR. So I just knew that I wanted to do even better. I had tutors who were ex-teachers. I had done tutoring one-on-one. I had done tutoring in large groups, but I found that one-on-one was best for me, and I knew I wanted to kind of up my game more. And so that's why I found a VCA examiner to help me. And yes, it was expensive. I'm really grateful that my parents could afford it and send me to tutoring, but I cannot say how much it changed my life. Not only did I end up doing well in English, I got to appreciate the subject so much more, but I then created a business as a result of it, which is Lisa Study Guide. So this is my livelihood now, and you know, I'm using a lot of that knowledge that I've learned to share it to the public, like you guys. Think about what your goals are and communicate that with the tutor or the company that you're going to. That way you can be matched with the right type of tutor who's going to be able to help you in exactly what you need. To follow on from that, I just want to say that your first tutor that you find or you're matched with a certain company may not be the perfect tutor for you, and that is totally okay. You know, it's not just the teaching that matters, it's also just a personality match as well. You want to find a tutor that you're comfortable with, to share that, you know, you don't understand this, couldn't you please explain it again? You want to find somebody who, maybe for you, if you're somebody who just wants to be talked out like straight, like no BS, you just want to know if you're doing good or not, or how you can improve this essay, then you want to try and find a tutor like that. But if you're somebody who prefers somebody who's a lot gentler with their feedback, you know, you receive positive criticism really well, but not when it's harsh, then that's the tutor who might work better for you. And sometimes that does take time to find the right tutor, and that is okay. I know in my company, Lisa Study Guides, like we're very focused on hiring a particular type of tutor, you know, people who have personalities basically very similar with me. You know, we're chatty, we enjoy getting along with our students, but we enjoy communicating in a way that's easy to understand and is very much based on what you want out of the session. And so most of the times we're able to match students to tutors pretty well just because of the branding that's created around Lisa Study Guide. So you already kind of know what kind of tutor you might get from my company. But you know, sometimes it doesn't work as well. And in those cases where we've had to recommend a second tutor and students have been patient and gone, yeah, okay, like this first tutor isn't quite the right fit for me, and they've said why, then we've found them a second tutor who has ended up being a better fit for them and they've stayed with that tutor long term. So just know that, you know, if the first tutor that you find isn't quite right for you, that's totally okay. Go on to find your second tutor, even your third one. You know, it's a work in progress. But if you do go with a company, say like Lisa Study Guides, then you know that we're working with you to try to find the right tutor for you. And so to follow on from that is, because you might need a little bit of time to find the right tutor, I'd say don't leave it up until the last minute. Like, don't leave it up until you've got your exam in 2 weeks and you just need somebody to help you. Like, if you're serious about getting tutoring, think about it ahead of time, because inevitably, you know, people get sick, there will be holidays, you'll have assessments come up or things that come up where you can't have tutoring. And so the amount of tutoring that you do get usually ends up being less than you think. So if you're thinking of getting tutoring at the start of the year, you'll probably get fewer sessions than the entire year's worth, if that makes sense. This gives you time to find the right tutor as well, so that you're not stuck with a tutor who you don't like and you're not really sure about them and why you're giving them money, but you're desperate to keep them there because you don't have time to go and have the headspace to find another tutor. So yeah, these are all things for you to consider essentially. Let me know, by the way, if this video is helpful for you. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to leave me a comment about, you know, what you're looking for in tutoring, what are the things that you're thinking about, because that will help me create more videos in the future to help you guys. But if you're looking for a tutor, especially if you're in high school in Australia and you're doing the ATAR, then check out Lisa Study Guides. We've got an amazing team of tutors, heaps of resources to give you. You know, we even create our own resources, which a lot of tutoring companies don't do. We've got an amazing track record of helping students achieve their goals. So I'll link you up there if you wanted to check us out. You can just send in the form and we'll just give you a buzz to have a chat. We want to make sure that we're the right fit for you as well. So there aren't any hard sales and, you know, you must come with us or anything like that. We just want you to find the right people for you. So if that's not us, that's totally okay. But come have a chat with us and we can see how we can help you. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you next time.